Hi, everybody. It's Joseph Shepard.
And it's your girl, Miss Laganja Estranja.
Should we welcome everybody to a little podcast that we do called
Queening.
Oh.
We're never going to get that.
We're
Even in person.
We got it the first time in person.
Well, let's look at each other and try it.
Okay.
And welcome to Queening Out! There it is.
There we go.
This is a podcast where Joseph and I review each and every episode of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 7, baby, the winner cycle.
Winners, and lots of chicken dinners. Now, Laganja, we ask all of everybody who listens to write us emails into laganjos@gmail.com. And I think we also have a voicemail number too, right?
That's right. We have a voicemail, and you can leave us a love note, a hate note, a question, whatever you want. And the number is 323-607-5116. And we would love to hear from each and every one of you.
Ooh, do you want to take this first email we have?
Ooh, we love an email. Let's do it. I am loving this podcast. It is a treat to see you two beautiful people sharing your insight and charm on this platform. I wanted to pass on to y'all where I think Night of 1,000 Blanks came from. In 1991, at the then infamous club Mother, located in the Meatpacking District in NYC, fans of the legendary Stevie Nicks got together and created a fan event where people could come dressed up as Stevie or just themselves to celebrate all things Stevie, with great performances and friendship. So many people showed up, it literally looked like 1,000 Stevies. The show that was produced by Chi Valente and Johnny Donnell was so popular that they decided to make it an annual event, and it has been going on for 30 years. Again, I'm loving the video podcast. Take care and be blessed. Sincerely, Gary. Oh my gosh, Gary.
Gary.
We love it when you drop little, education on us. That's so interesting to know. I love that.
It's like Gary the historian.
I love it. I just actually discovered that Stevie Nicks is actually considered rock music.
Really?
Yeah, I thought she was bluegrass. Because to me, she has kind of like a... I thought she had like a kind of country sound, her witchy vibe, but we were actually listening to Stevie in the car yesterday, and my best friends educated me on her as being a classic rock star. So I love to be educated. I do know a lot of information in certain areas, but I think as an artist, one of the best things you can do is just always be open to learning new information. Exactly. I don't ever want to go stale. I always want to learn. So thank you so much, Gary, for writing in and educating us on A Night of 1,000 Blanks.
Night of 1,000 Blanks. If you could be in A Night of 1,000, what would you want to be?
Well, what I was first going to say is A Night of 1,000 Blanks sounds like my hookup history since taking HRT. I was like, that's sounding familiar. A Night of 1,000 Blanks. No, but if I could do A Night of 1,000 Blanks, it would probably be... maybe A Night of 1,000 Bob Fosse's, one of my favorite choreographers. So many musicals he did. I think that could be really fun. Or I would say maybe like A Night of 1,000 Britney Spears. I really love her. She's amazing. I feel like I know so many of her iconic looks. So I would feel pretty comfortable being able to pull that off. What about yourself?
I agree with the Britney.
Okay.
I'm a big Britney fan.
Which one would you do?
Ooh.
It's a lot to choose from.
I would love... I think I personally would love to do the Oops, I Did It Again VMA's performance.
With the yellow snake.
No. That was the Slave for You.
Okay.
The one where it was kind of like the see-through, beaded.
Yeah. She had on the suit and she ripped it off.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
That.
I think I would probably want to do the snake, which I've already done. But if I had to choose another one, probably the denim. I loved the denim look she did with Justin. It's so iconic to me.
Oh, no, wait. Okay. I changed my mind.
Oh,
I changed my mind.
I sparked another one.
You sparked another one.
Okay.
I was obsessed with this.
Oops, I did it again. See what I did there? So punny.
I was obsessed with this video when I overprotected.
Okay.
And she had this look, and I was so obsessed, I drew it. My mom found the drawing, ripped it up.
No.
Yeah, and she was like, no, we do not do that here. That look, the blue,
gorgeous,
see-through, I don't know what it is.
Loving the ripped skirt. It's so funny because now I feel like all the 90s vibes are coming back in. Yeah, coming totally back in. Love it.
Well, now I think it's time we had 3 voicemails that we should listen to.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do it.
Hey, Joseph and Ganja. I'm Corey from San Antonio. I love seeing y'all talking together about things because of y'all's signs, Capricorn and Pisces. I'm also a Capricorn, and I am with a Pisces, and I know we're a great match. I was wondering for y'all if you ever find yourself drawn or around certain zodiac signs, and also was wondering what's your favorite bar in the U.S. that you've been to. Thanks, guys.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Well, I have to admit, personally, I'm not really that into zodiac signs. Now, when people describe Capricorns to me, I'm like, okay, well, that's literally me. So it must be somewhat true, but I don't really like to dictate how I judge someone off their zodiac sign. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I do know for me that Scorpios, because my first boyfriend was a Scorpio, I'm very attracted to that kind of energy, Leos, Scorpios, but I don't necessarily mix well with that. But again, if someone was like, oh, hi, I'm blah, 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 and I'm a Scorpio, I'm not going to be like, oh, can't be friends with you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I try not to judge off that. But I have noticed that Capricorns, we really stick together. I think because we're such a unique energy, we're very hard workers and we're very sensitive, that a lot of us really seem to cohabitate well together in a situation. What about for you?
Ooh, it seems like, okay, any bad relationship I've ever been in has been with a Leo.
Okay.
Every single one of them.
But you love them too.
However, all my friends, I can be good with friends in a Leo territory.
Okay.
But when we get into that dating territory, that's a no-no.
Yeah.
I will say I'm always good with Cancers, it seems like.
Cancers are sweet.
Yeah, and then I really don't know that much about Zodiac.
Right.
I love looking because anytime I do an audition or anything and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I nailed this, or oh, I think that I did so good, I'll always be like, okay, let me look in the next few days and see if they say anything that I should be expecting something great or big.
I love it. So you basically tune into it when you think you need it.
Yes, you have to.
That's good. I like that. I see that for you. And now, as far as my favorite bar in the U.S., this is a very difficult question because I've pretty much been to most gay bars, I would think, in the U.S., and I definitely have several that really come to mind that are home bars where I'm there often. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be Scarlet in Honolulu, Hawaii. I love Hawaii. I dream of moving there. I actually give credit to a lot of the women there for helping me with my transition. Wow. If you are not familiar with the Mahus, it is a tale, I think, or maybe a myth, a folklore. I'm not for sure the proper term for the story. But it really describes sort of this third gender that kind of came to the island and helped raise the children and were very strong like men, but kind like women. And so in the Hawaiian culture, being trans or being a third gender is really much more accepted. So by going there year after year and learning from these women, I really feel like I developed sort of a comfortability level with my own truth. So I love, the club because it's in Hawaii, yes, and also because of all the incredible people that are there. And not to plug myself, but if you want to see a little bit more behind the scenes of when I go to Hawaii, I actually just dropped a vlog on my YouTube channel, which is what I call A Day in the Life of. They come out every Thursday at 4:20, and it shows you my most recent trip to Scarlet, where I actually get to talk to some of the women and thank them for helping me with my transition. And of course, I smoke weed and act a fool too. So it's fun, but it's also really sweet. And definitely shout out to Scarlet, Honolulu. I love you. One of my favorite clubs, definitely in the U.S.
Best. I've never been to Hawaii.
Right.
So hearing this, I'm like, oh no,
You'd probably love it.
Oh, I know that I would. Best club in the U.S. That is hard. I will have to say that each place I've ever lived, there's always been one club that had some type of moment in my life. In Atlanta, I was obsessed with Blake's.
Yes.
And I loved falling down the stairs there quite sometimes because the staircase from upstairs to downstairs is horrendous. Here in LA, I don't think I've actually found one in LA.
Precinct.
Precinct's good.
That's my favorite club in LA. Just because it has a great outdoor patio where I can smoke weed.
Yes.
And I also like it because it's a little bit more eclectic. I feel like a lot of the clubs in West Hollywood are pretty homogenized, white gays who overtan and work out all the time.
Yep.
And I like Precinct because it attracts more bears and leather daddies and just a mix of different races, religions. And if I'm going to go out, I want to be in a melting pot and not in just one type of crowd.
Well, what I've always said, too, is that I really wish they would take, the gayborhood of West Hollywood and bring an Eagle there. Bring some other types of bars that, bring in different crowds, because like you said, like you go to one bar and you're like, oh wow, okay, that's cool. Next one's the exact same thing.
Right.
The exact
I thought
same
you were
thing.
going to say they should basically just start over.
Hey, you know what? That would work well too.
I mean, look, the cool thing about LA is it is a very accepting place. And I think even in those homogenized, crowds, there is a place for everyone. But for me, again, I just like to have reflected in the room what the world really looks like. And I feel like, again, when I'm just with one specific type of crowd, even if that was like going to a rock concert, right? And it's all rock people, or going to a goth concert, it's all goth people. Those are fun because you feel included in that moment. But I like to really, feel like it's not just a moment, and it's like life being reflected in that room.
Exactly. Do you feel, because I was thinking about this the other day, when you started out doing drag and you were doing like, local bars and stuff, then when you get on Drag Race and things blow up and you start traveling a lot, do you experience, I always want to know, what's the experience when you go to different bars? Like, because they don't all have the same dressing room sizes. They all don't have the extra if, ands, or buts. Do you like look up these bars before you go? Do you ever do that? Like, how do you figure this out?
So I never used to look up bars until Pulse happened. And when Pulse happened and the horrible, mass shooting there, I realized that I needed to know a little bit more about clubs and like specifically escape routes. So that is something now that's in my contract. We always want to know, like, how does one leave from the stage, from the dressing room, just in case an incident was to go down. So I definitely look up that. But otherwise, no. I hate to say it, but a gay club's a gay club.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, it's going to have sticky floors. It's going to have loud music. It's going to have moving lights, may or may not have fog or LED screens, but they all do kind of blend together. And I think for me, what really makes the experiences unique is the people that are there, is the people that are working, is the people that are attending. And I think that's what really makes clubs stand out in my mind.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's push play on this
Number 2?
next
Let's
voicemail
do it.
we have. Once again, thank you guys so much for sending these voicemails to us and, making this show what it is, because when you guys get involved, the whole show ends up becoming like a moment of just talking and chatting. And like,
Exactly.
It's fun.
We love to get you guys involved.
Back again. Hi, I was the first voicemail you played on the Total Request Live one, and I was just very nervous. I didn't know what to say, but love you guys again so much. Glad you take the position as my daddy. Oh my god, this is horrible. Oh my god. Love you guys both.
And still no name. Still no name. Anonymous hi person, we love you.
We love you so much. I was laughing so hard at that first voicemail. I really enjoyed it. And then he ended up, whoever this anonymous high person is, ended up writing, was like, I was high. And he
Oh my
was
God.
like, I was like, yeah, of course you were.
Come on, medicated.
Come on, medicated. It was so good. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for the love again. We love hearing your voice. We hope this third time you'll let us know your name.
Yes. And then we may call you back, because it'll be third time's a charm, you know?
Ooh.
Next up.
Number 3.
Hey, Laganja, Joseph. Hi from Puerto Rico. It has been amazing listening to your podcast, and I hear, Laganja, that you're coming to Puerto Rico on July, so I'm excited to be able to see you. It would be lovely if I get to meet you, but I don't think they have meet and greet, so I'm sad about that, but I will definitely go and see you. So this week's challenge, talking about All-Star 7, it's a sewing one. So I would want to know, if you knew that it was a sewing challenge, who would you have blocked? And Joseph, how do you think you would do on a sewing challenge? Thank you. It's been lovely again to hear you. Have a good one. Bye.
Oh, well, first and foremost, yes, I am coming to Puerto Rico. My first time ever.
Wow.
It's crazy. I feel like I've been everywhere. I just said that, and then I'm like, well, I actually haven't been there. So my first time in Puerto Rico, I'm so thankful to a dear queen named Queen Bee Ho. She is iconic. Literally, you need to look her up. She does so many performances, but if I had to pick one of my favorites of hers is a pageant competition, and she did a Saw. You know the movie Saw,
Yes.
like the horror movie? She did like a Saw mix and literally like comes riding in on the tricycle.
On the tricycle?
It's so iconic, and she gets thrown in the air because she's also like I don't know if she's formally trained as a cheerleader or a gymnast, but she definitely is. Like, she definitely is that. So anyways, we've been friends for each other for a very long time. We actually just met for the first time at DragCon, and she is bringing me to Puerto Rico, and I'm going to be staying there for a week. So even though there's no meet and greet, there will be plenty of opportunities to meet me. So I hope to meet you too. Now, to answer your question, wait, I smoked too. What was the question?
Oh, it was who would you have blocked?
That's right.
Sewing challenge?
So if I had to block someone in the sewing challenge, it definitely would be Raja. I think that she's so known for her creativity and her looks. And after she pulled out that gold lame, like fabulosity, I feel like that's who I would have probably blocked if I had the insight knowing that the next challenge would be a sewing challenge.
That's a good one.
What about you?
Trinity.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
Like Raja and Trinity both, it's like, you never know what's going to come out, but every single time it comes out, you're like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I think your choice is actually smarter because Raja's been, teetering on things, whereas Trinity has been nailing it every single time. So I think, actually now I want to switch my answer. Like, to switch my answer, it would be Trinity. I would block Trinity.
What was the other part?
Because I also don't really want to block Raja. That's like my mama, and I would think I would like feel really bad for doing that. Whereas Trinity, I'm like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I could block her.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trinity. I love you too.
And the other part you asked me was, how do you think that I would do in a challenge like that? I think hot glue, of course, would be my best friend. Right. I actually believe that I could execute something well, but the issue would become Jinx's issue. How this episode we saw Jinx go into like her, like she kept laughing and she like messed up, and that type of stuff would be me. My boyfriend literally looked at me and goes, that's you. Like, he was like, there is nobody else to describe what it was, because a lot of times what happens with me is that I get so excited, I'll be creative, I make something, I do something, and then I look at it and I'm like, okay, here we go. These nails right here. Here's a great example. I tried painting my nails yesterday because you know what? I felt it. I went to go see Juno Birch last night, and I was like, let me paint my nails. Let me have a moment. And
what happened, girl?
Well, they looked okay. And then I took a shower, and then...
Did you forget the top coat?
I put the top coat on, but the top coat, I don't know, one ended up messing up, and then I got mad. So then when I get mad at something, it's like, fuck it all.
Right.
So then I was just like in the shower, and I was like, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this, fuck this. So then I took
Not trying to take it off with water, Mary.
Well...
You need nail polish remover.
I know, but that's why my nails look like I've been bruised. So...
that or like little kids. They look like little kids who colored on their nails. That's why you got to get yourself a professional nail tech. Hello.
Well, you know what, Laganja? After this, I will go get these babies
You
done.
should, because having your nails painted is so fun. Like, I swear to God, every time, I look down at my hands, like when I'm masturbating or something, I'm like, God, my nails are so gorgeous. You know what I mean? They're gorgeous. I'm just kidding. I don't masturbate. I already told you it's a night of 1,000 blanks.
Night of 1,000 blanks.
Now that joke's really setting in, yes?
Now it hit me. Well, thank you guys so much for sending us emails and voicemails. Make sure to do that. The email is laganjoes, LAGANJOES @gmail.com.
And our voicemail is 323-607-5116. We love hearing from you each and every week, so thank you so much to everyone who reached out to us. We hope you feel our reaches back to you.
Ooh. And before we get into this legendary legend episode,
yes,
I need to talk to you about your legendary legend moment this past week.
Well, girl, you knew about it last week, but we couldn't reveal it or reveal it to all of you. So I was dying last week not being able to say it, but yes, I did have truly an iconic moment that I never thought would happen in my career. I danced with and for Madonna. Yeah, for New York Pride. It was a part of the Women of Wonder NFT project. And it was incredible. I mean, I had auditioned for Madonna. Literally, I got the call at 9:30 in LA, and they said, can you be in full glam and in Hollywood in an hour? So I rushed home, got in full glam, got to the audition. They taught me the choreography in 10 minutes. Oh. And then they were like, okay, we're putting you in front of Madonna. And I was like, wait, what? Put me in a full costume. I walk into the room. Before I even start dancing, they're already like pushing me behind a curtain, and they're like, no, Madonna doesn't like the look. We have to change our look. I hadn't even started yet, and I was like, I'm already losing. So they changed my complete look. I finally show her what I've learned, and she's like, okay, great. Now I need to see the whole thing. And the choreographer is like, okay, but we only taught her like the first 5/8 counts. And she was like, that's fine. I just need to see the whole thing. So there I was. I did the first 5/8 counts, and then literally I was just like improving the rest of the number, trying to pick up the choreography as much as I could. The choreographer is like moving my hips, being like, okay, go over here. Okay, go over there. Like, it was so intense, but I felt like, you know, my years and years of education that I'm so grateful that my parents paid for, like, really paid off. You know, I pride myself in being a quick learner when it comes to choreography, and I pride myself in being a true professional when it comes to showmanship. And I think, well, I know it showed in that audition because I got the job, and it was crazy. I was fully corseted for the audition, and then I had to stay in that room until 1:30 at night, fully corseted, and learn the other 3 numbers that I would be in. It was insane. And then literally the next day I was on a plane to New York. We rehearsed for almost 12 hours a day. Madonna is very intense. I did not think she was mean at all. I know that there have been rumors about that. I did not see that at all. I think maybe why she gets these things said about her is because she is so meticulous. She looks at every single little detail, and she does. She's a true workhorse. She rehearses it over and over in full drag, like, mind you, not only us, but her as well. So I really loved the process because I felt like if I was at her level, or rather when I'm at her level, I will be very similar to that. Now, one thing I will say is she would have us come in at like 2 to 3 and then rehearse to like, 2 to 3 in the, morning. Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm that way, like I would want to like start at 10, end at 10, because like I was in New York and I really didn't get to see any of my friends and stuff, which it's like, whatever. That's not what I was there for. I was there for Madonna. And one other little anecdote that I have to tell you about is when I finally got my real costume, she kept telling them to make my corset tighter. And like, I would do it like a little tighter and a little tighter, but like, I don't corset. Okay. I leave that up to Violet, who was also in the show. And so was Bob. And so when we did the final walkthrough, Madonna literally Titanicked me, put her knee in my back, and yanked my corset so tight.
Stop it.
I'm not kidding you.
Madonna yanked your corset?
Literally. It was amazing. And right before I went on to perform, she came out of her dressing room and thanked me for, and I quote, saving her show at the last minute. So it was a beautiful moment that one day I know I will write about in a book, and something that I'll remember forever. I mean, my best friends are obsessed with her. So like seeing the joy that it brought them in addition was so rewarding. And yeah, I just feel really, really grateful that I got the opportunity to not only recreate Vogue and do all the original choreography, but to also then dance with her for the finale number. It was truly a life-changing experience. And then literally that night we ended at 2 a.m, and I was in a car by 4 a.m. to go to Seattle, where I then performed at Seattle Pride. So my schedule right now is busy. Insane, but I'm very blessed. I'm very booked. The chips are stacking. You can call me Miss Pringle. Ooh. And baby, I am just ready for July. I can't believe Pride Month here is over, but Pride continues around the world. So I'm excited that I still have a lot more bookings. I'm actually headed to Dewey Beach this week. Cincinnati's on the board. Puerto Rico's on the board. So we still have a lot more Pride to celebrate out there with all of you.
Did you have friends come and see you?
I did. I was able to get 4 comps. So I had one of my very first boyfriends in life. His name is Terry Snyder. Love him to death. He was there. My friend Mikey Sylvester, who I actually met through Alyssa Edwards, House of Edwards. And then I had my dear friend Krista Youngs, who's an amazing singer-songwriter. She actually wrote my song Daddy and Poison Ivy. And her boyfriend, Liquid Todd, who's a very famous radio DJ. So all 4 of them got to come and see, and yeah, they filmed the whole thing for me for my vlog. Yes. So I'm going to be posting that eventually, and definitely stay tuned. I'll be trickling out the Madonna content.
That is so cool. And just being able to say that, like, I'm glad that you didn't corset all the way.
Yeah.
Those times. Because then you wouldn't have had that iconic moment of Madonna corseting you.
I guess that's so true. I thought you were saying, like, so that you didn't die. But yeah. Now, what about you? What were you up to this week? Obviously, we just heard you got to see Juno this week, which is so cool. Anything else that was super fun or exciting, or not fun or exciting?
Let's see. No, I got to see Juno. I'll be doing an interview with her this week. So I'm very excited about that. That'll be probably my first like over the pond non-drag race in person interview.
Okay,
so
fun. She also identifies as trans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm excited about that. And this week was literally just like a lot of getting into, I guess, getting back into myself.
Get into the groove.
Yes.
I can't
there
sing.
You go.
I'm not going to sing, girl. Not without auto-tune.
So it's kind of like getting back into it. My boyfriend and I had a talk. I think that I probably...
Not a talk?
Well, it was...
That sounds so serious.
Oh, well, it kind of was. It was serious in the way of, I think that I've been going through a little bit of depression in different ways. I think COVID just kind of like screwed me up in certain ways because when you're on the spectrum, when big events happen, you can kind of like revert back into, extreme social anxiety and revert back into, really not wanting to go and explore or go and hang out with people. And I really got into probably a bad little hiccup to where I didn't really like want to go and work out. I didn't really want to go and do this. And I think
first off, no one wants to go and work out.
No, nobody.
And if they do, they're lying to themselves.
That's what I say. And so I think with my emotions, my mom was just diagnosed with cancer and I've had a lot of, I don't know how to handle my emotions sometimes.
Totally.
And I don't know the feelings that I have. So I think that I just took all of those things and just took them and was like, I need to just spend time with myself. And I kind of just like became like a hermit for a bit. And now it's like, once he said that, I was receptive in hearing, as you should always be when somebody says something. And that's why I like tried to push myself a little bit more this week. So I went and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to work from home this week. I'm going to go and work, somewhere out in public.
Yes.
And I'm going to, that's why I went last night. And I was like, let me go and, out with my boyfriend and his friends and let's go out and have some drinks or whatever. Let me get Taco Bell. Let me just try to like slowly kind of like push myself a little bit further to get out of that funk. Because...
Well, if anyone understands depression, it is me. I think, I put off this like projection into the world that it's so great and I'm dancing for Madonna and I'm flying over here and doing all this. But like, after the gig with Madonna, I was totally depressed. I called my best friends and like talked to them for an hour about it. And, I think that depression is something that we don't talk about enough. We don't talk enough about mental health. And I think that every single person struggles with it. And I love that about you. I love that you always like are honest and like bring that up because again, it's something that I don't really talk about with people, but my best friends know like this is something that I struggle with. And, it's hard to be traveling the world alone. And that's why I'm so grateful that you have a partner who can be there for you, who can reflect some of the things that you needed, reflecting at. That doesn't make sense. I'm grateful that you have a partner who can reflect the things that you need to see that sometimes you can't see in yourself, And while I don't have that currently, I know I will one day, and I look forward to that. But I am so grateful that I have such like an incredible support system here in LA that even when I'm off in New York doing this incredible thing that I can call and they're not like, bitch, you're with Madonna. Like, put a smile on your face. Like, they're like, we get it, Like, this is normal and you're a human. And even though you're having such a high, you go back to your hotel room, you're alone, you're having an hour and a half to get changed to go to your next gig. Like, it gets the rigorousness. Is that a word? Rigorousness.
I know what you're saying. Rigorous.
Well, the rigidness, no, the
rigomoris.
Yeah, rigomoris of my schedule, it does. It definitely like plays a huge part of my depression. And I think a lot of the times that's why I work so hard is to like not have to deal with the depression.
That's what it is.
And that's why the minute when I'm not working, I'm like, oh wait, I'm really sad. And that sucks, it really sucks. So I hear you. Good for you for getting out of the house. Those are when people always ask me, like, how do you combat it? I always say, like, switch up your routine. I think for me, I love routines, but sometimes that routine is detrimental to my health. So getting out of the house, forcing yourself to exercising, going for really good, delicious fried chicken. I swear, for me, that always helps. Or ramen. Fried chicken or ramen.
What kind of fried chicken and from where?
Popeyes.
Oh, my gosh.
Popeyes.
Spicy, not spicy.
I feel like we've talked about this on here, no?
But I don't think it was on this podcast. I think it was us having a combo.
Oh, just an outside chicken combo.
Yeah, it was an outside.
Yeah. No, I just, for me, I don't know. I think because I grew up in the South, my mother would always make fried chicken. And so it's kind of a comfort food for me. And then ramen is like when I'm like, oh, I don't want to be fat, but I still want to have something good.
Yes. I feel
a little pork belly, a little egg. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
But I'm very glad that we can talk about this very
Yes.
openly. We've had a lot of comments like from the past conversations on like the YouTube and stuff, like mentioning like, thank you. Like, I think that mental health and depression, anxiety, and those things are just so not talked about.
No, and your favorites have it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, not to throw their name out there, but it's like, I know even Trixie and Katya, two of the most successful drag queens in the world, struggle with this and struggle with anxiety. And, that's what I'm saying. I think that this is a real thing for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that a lot of people are like, well, that's not a part of my brand.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that about Trixie and Katya. That's not throwing shade at them. I'm just saying, for a lot of people, I think it is hard to be open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's how we shift. And I think that's how we change this whole stigma around it, is when we all say like, okay, but actually I feel that way too.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, so now I'm not even alone. And just knowing that, at least for me, makes me feel better. And that's why it's like every time you say it, I'm like, I hear you. I feel you. I'm reflecting it back at
Yeah.
you. Like, I get it. Like, it's, especially in LA, it's hard not to get depressed here.
Ooh.
And especially with the climate.
Yes.
I literally finished Madonna and then I got online the next day and it was like, abortion, is now illegal.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of hard to be positive when we're going through such trying times,
Exactly. Well, we're going to get into the little thing that you just said in a little bit. So let's take a break.
Yeah, we need a break after all that.
We need a break, and we're going to get into this episode. We are back. It is Queening Out. I'm Joseph Shepard. I'm here with Laganja Estranja. Now, Miss Laganja, we get into this episode. The Vivian won last week. So RuPaul's like, I'm going to pull up a Pinterest board. I thought Pinterest went bankrupt.
I thought it was gone too. I was so
like,
gagged. I was like, wow, not the sponsorship from Pinterest
Yeah,
on Drag
from
Race.
Pinterest.
We are really reaching. We are reaching for sponsors.
Is it 2009? And so there were 8 different looks of RuPaul's. Since the Vivian won, she got to choose the first look that she would then interpret and design in whatever way. And then she passed it on and it kept going and going. And what did we have there?
Well, I was gagged that Raja was the last one picked. I was like, okay, this is definitely because they know she's good at design. So they're like, we're not picking her.
Poor baby.
But yeah, I saw a lot of looks that I definitely gravitated towards that I myself would want to reinvent. Credit to RuPaul for just being so creative on always making it about herself. Mm-hmm. I just love that she finds new ways every time to bring it back to her, bring it back to the brand. And there was a lot of creativity in the room. I was really impressed. A lot of great looks here.
A lot.
Yeah.
Do you want to read through this little list and who had what?
Okay, sure. First up, we have Jada Essence Hall, and she selected the tribute to Diana Ross look. And this was a gold shimmery look that I feel personally she really encapsulated. So gorgeous.
I love that she thought about RuPaul wearing a look for Diana Ross, this tribute, and then was like, I want to Diana Ross it a little bit more. And I was like, okay, girl. I was like, she hit it. She hits it out of the park every single time.
Yeah, I thought this week was truly remarkable. I thought the hair and mug alone was award winning. And then that outfit, the judges said it and I will echo it. It would look good on so many different body types. That deep plunging neckline, the revealed hip, which is so current right now. The way she combined 2 different fabrics to create that final, shimmery sequin textile, amazing. I mean, she nailed it. Even the way she, had the back of the fabric on her back, it was a different material, but it was simple and sleek. And I thought, I hate wearing sequins a lot because they cut you up. So I thought that was very smart of her to do something on the back that wasn't so jarring into her back. I mean, brilliant.
So good.
So Miss Jada, it's an absolute wear it from me.
100% wear it for me too. I absolutely love everything that you brought, and that wig too. I'm like, that was out of this world. So wear it.
Then up next, we had Jinx Monsoon, and she was giving us a Down Under Season 1 promo. Now, Mama, it was a tear it for me.
It was a complete tear
I'm
for
like,
me.
are the judges just being really nice? It didn't represent that look to me at all. And I know you were supposed to make it your own, but it was girl, she went into the wild, wild west. It was West World. It was West Wonders. I don't know. It was not the look for me.
I thought it was the best of the 2 looks that she's done.
Absolutely. And if it was a different challenge, not a bad look. But it did not give me RuPaul reference at all.
No.
The color, that was it, purple.
Why does she always get purple?
Does
she was purple last time, too.
She was a purple people eater?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was just like, oh.
Your memory's good.
My memory is...
I don't even watch Untucked, and I still can't keep all this together.
Well, you didn't miss much on Untucked this week. We'll get into that in a bit. I thought that it was a great try.
A great try, A for effort. Loved the use of beaded fringe. Loved the use of sequins. Loved her creativity with, using a bodysuit she already had and adorning it with materials. That's exactly what I would do. Liked the high-low train. There were good things there, but for me, ultimately, it was a tear-up.
Ultimately, yes. I will say, though, and I said this earlier when I was talking about, like, my nails and stuff, I was laughing so hard when she was going through her little moment of, like, hysteria. Do you ever have moments like that?
I am hysteric all the time. That's, like, my brand. So, yeah, I am.
Are you sure? I don't remember that any in season 6.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, up next, we have Monet Exchange, and she is giving us the iconic and somewhat infamous, if you will, face kini look.
Ooh.
Now, I was gagged when RuPaul did this look on the show in the beginning. I actually lived for it because it was so different. I believe, maybe you'll know more, rumor has it that there was an eye infection or something going on, and so that was why she did this look with the big glasses over the face kini, was to, like, hide that.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Because I had heard that this was the moment of the...
makeup switch?
Yes.
Okay.
I
have
heard-
also heard that rumor too.
Yeah, I had heard that this was I guess season 9 or whatever it was, and that Matthew Anderson did episode 1, and then I guess that there was contractual issues.
Disagreements.
And he bowed out, so that was the next episode where he didn't have makeup.
Wow.
If I'm correct, I may be completely wrong.
I've definitely
but I'm
heard
pretty
that
sure
too, and
yeah.
maybe the rumor that I said was like the one to cover up that rumor.
Yeah.
But either way, it was an iconic moment.
yes.
A very smart choice by Monet, and I loved the look. I really did. I thought the clashing patterns was so cool. I loved that she was able to execute a bodysuit.
Like, with fingers.
And the hat she
Yes.
made, a top hat, like, I thought it was great. She looked gorgeous. I just saw her picture on Instagram that she posted of it. Chef's kiss. It's a wear it from me.
Wear it 100% for me too. I think that when she first walked out, it was very simple, and I kept thinking to myself, I was like, oh, simple is as simple as does. Like, it's not like completely wooing me. But then I had to take a moment and be like, she made a fucking bodysuit for her body that fit like a glove and literally
With
had
gloves,
gloves.
right.
And I'm like, with a hat, with everything, no, 100% wear it.
The only thing she could have done if she had the time, which she didn't because she was fitting it to her body to perfection, would be add rhinestones.
Yes.
That's it. Like, if it
Yeah.
just had a little bit of sparkle here and there, I think that could have, like, maybe taken it to this, like, next umpteenth level.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, it was amazing. Amazing.
Oh, so good.
Then next up, we had Raja with the season 7 promo, which was like the white rip vibe.
The white rip
with
vibe.
the huge mohawk.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely an iconic moment. I mean, it came right after my season, and I thought, like, the Black Panther rip was, like, more fierce, but I love the look. Now, I had mixed feelings about Raja's interpretation. I think in movement, it looked great. It looked exactly like what she was going for. But when she stood on the runway and she told the judges, like, I just kept going more is more is more. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I could tell.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I hate to say it, it was a tear-up for me. I didn't really love it. I do think it was too much. I do think it swallowed her. But I could see it in the right movie, like if it was like post-apocalyptic, zombie-esque glamour, I could see it really fitting in and working as a piece of fashion.
Yes.
But as, again, something as far as that I would wear, no, I don't think I would wear it. I thought the 1920s headband like didn't really correlate with the ruggedness of the outfit. And yeah, I just think she kind of got carried away and like went overboard. I mean, I loved when they showed us the close-up shot of her taking the ostrich feathers individually and gluing them to the cage.
Yes.
Very like what I did for my All-Star Season 6 look, although I didn't do it. I had designers do it. So I liked those, I liked that she was paying attention to those details. I just think there was too many details. It was too fucking much.
I agree with you. I think that my issue was just, it looked like big pipe cleaners on her back. And that's
Pipe
what
cleaners.
annoyed me. And it was like, to me, it cheapened the look.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't necessarily for any of that. I was laughing so hard when she was like, it's a dream catcher. And then Trinity was like, more like a nightmare catcher.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
shade.
oh, it was so good. But yeah, I would have to tear it.
Yeah. Sorry, Raj. Up next, we have Shea Coulee serving season 5 Sugar Ball Luke. And I have to agree with Miss RuPaul. This is one of my favorite looks she's ever done. I think the photo of her backstage.
Yes.
So iconic.
Gorgeous.
So iconic. And I think Shea completely hit this out of the park. It is a 100% wear it. It was genius. I love when Betsy Johnson told her she's like scary pretty.
Yes.
I'm like, I agree. Like when she turned the corner, I was like, oh, I would not want to meet her in an alley. Like she looked like she could kick your ass. But she looked so gorgeous. I loved the interpretation. I loved the painting of the actual fabric. I loved the simple body. I just think it was really executed really well. Very smart choices.
I had 2 confusion points.
Okay.
One was there was fabric that had prints on it already, and she didn't use it. So in my weird head, I was like, I understand why you wanted to spray paint and give it your own and maybe make it look better. But then the other part was like, well, taking all that time to do that took away from the creation of something. I
disagree. See, I think that was her creative process, and that was so unique that she made a fabric that looked just like his, you know?
I think that I loved from the waist up. I think I just was not a fan of the pink, like spandexy type pants. I don't know. It really took me out of the illusion. I thought everything else was to die for. I loved how she brought that fabric onto her arms. Like I thought everything was great. But I don't know what it was. It was just those pants. Okay. That was my.
So it's like a half wear it for you?
What?
Okay. Just a what?
Yeah.
Where is she? Oliver Twist reference. My God, the singing I've been doing this episode, I really need the auto-tune. Please, editor, help me on that. Up next, we have The Vivienne serving Season 7 Despy Award look. Do you remember that one? Am I saying it wrong?
No, I'm trying to remember what it looked like.
I don't actually remember either.
Oh, that's very bad, guys.
Uh-oh.
Watch it be like some amazing look. I don't think.
What was the Vivienne wearing?
The Vivienne.
In case you didn't know, I smoke weed. And usually I fall asleep and have to watch the episode twice because I'm working so hard. And when I come home and watch it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Ah, yes, the gold lame with the bunny ears. Well, I liked the look, but it wasn't memorable, clearly, for us. So that's not good. But I would wear the look. I would. It was a good look. She looked good.
I liked the look except for whatever the
tool underneath the gold lame.
It really just took me away.
But it kind of provided volume, and otherwise I think that dress would have really like slinky to the ground and been boring. You know, it added some texture. It added a sort of height to it, a shape to it. I really think I'd wear it, but I have to say, you know, for not being very memorable, it would be a tear it.
Yeah.
No tea. Tear it. Sorry, mama. Up next, we have Trinity the Tuck serving Season 8 promo look. And oh my God.
I could
This
not.
queen is unreal. This queen is unreal. I'm like, okay, she definitely took it out of the workroom and stayed up all night working on it.
Yes.
There's no way she completed that in the workroom. And that's usually what happens is we'll get like 4 to 6 to 8 hours. No, we never got 8. That's definitely a lie. 4 to 6 hours to work on it in the workroom. And if you wanted, you would be allowed to take it to your room and you could work on it all night. And clearly that's what she did. There's just no way. All those hand-placed rhinestones, like, my God. Now, there was an applique in the center of the bow, so that wasn't hand-placed. But definitely all the work that was done up on top was all individually glued. I mean, it was just amazing. It's incredible what that queen can whip out. I'm like, wow, I wish I could make my clothes.
I was like, this looks better than people's designer-made gowns that they're bringing on. I was like, oh my goodness, she kicked it out of the park again. I loved, was it the tulle at the bottom? Like kind of like how like mermaid, is it mermaid?
Yes, you're learning.
Oh, yes, I am. I thought that was, she looked absolutely beautiful. It was everything for me.
She was a vision in blue, which by the way, sapphire is blue.
Yes.
Did you get
Yes,
that comment?
I got that comment.
Thank you for those of you who educated us. What color do we think it was? Red. I think we said sapphire
Yeah, we were
red.
like, sapphire's red. And then everybody's like, no.
It's cyan. That's red. Cyan is red, not sapphire. So it was semi-close. Give me a break, okay?
We're gayer.
I do get medicated for these.
We weren't gayer. We were there. I said gayer.
And last up, we have Miss Evie Oddly serving Supermodel of the World. The look that Raja originally wanted, the red look, which is an iconic look. And yeah, I think Evie did a great job with this too. I really think she looked beautiful. She definitely interpreted it in her own way. I loved the pant. I loved the juxtaposition of all the different types of fabrics she used. I loved how the pant had a sheen, but the top was matte. I definitely think it's a wear it for me. She did a great job.
I love the pants. Did not like the other. I think that like the tulle on the arms and stuff, I understand where she was going, but it didn't look fully complete to me there. But those pants, I was like, oh, the color, how the fit, I was like, I am down for that. So it was a whoa again.
Okay, I like it. I like a half wear.
A half wear.
Well, overall, we just have to say, I mean, the girls turned it out this week.
Killed it.
Look after look. It was so amazing. And it's just really incredible to see these, winners produce such fully realized looks. I thought, like, wow, this is why I don't go back. I really, there's no way I could make anything that would look as incredible as Trinity's. Like, there's just no way. Yeah. There's no way.
What RuPaul would you have chosen if you had the choice out of all of them?
Of the ones he gave, or okay. I have to look at the list. Let's see. Honestly, I think I would have chosen the face Kini.
Really?
Yeah, because it's so iconic in my mind. And I also feel like, I love a club kid look. I think maybe a lot of people don't expect that of me. But if you go back and look in the beginning of my career, that was really my vibe. In fact, Estranja stood for and still does the strange, being, avant-garde. And so I really like things that are out of the box. And I think it would have been easy to take a piece of fabric and cut 3 holes in it. I think I could have managed that, So I think I would have definitely tried to have been inspired by that. What about you?
I think the bow look just really resonated with me. I kept thinking about it and I was like, I really think that I would have done a bow that was turned this way. So this is does that make sense? Like the triangle's here, here, and then this is that, and then another here, here.
Ooh,
but
slutty.
Fully around, yeah. I don't know.
Oh no, not fully around, just one big bow.
Just one big bow, just
naked,
in front.
giving
just
ass
naked.
in the back.
Yes. You know what? RuPaul loves that. Valentina got Mick.
Yeah, we love an ass reveal. I think Detox was the first girl to actually pull that off.
Yes.
See, I like to go back to the OGs. Okay,
Did you
I'm
see
very that
Detox's
girl.
look
At Madonna?
Yes.
Amazing. Although I have to say my favorite was Gigi Good.
Gigi Good.
I saw it up close.
Good.
I saw it up close. That girl is freaking gorgeous. So gorgeous. She looked, not like Madonna. I was going to say she was Madonna, but it's no, she looked like Gigi. She's beautiful on her own, but she was really capturing the essence of Madonna. Gorgeous.
Do you think that Jan was mad somewhere?
Why? I don't know the joke.
Oh, she looked this.
Remember, I can't remember what happened 2 episodes ago. I definitely don't remember Jan's
Jan
season.
really believed that she won the Madonna musical. So it was...
I don't even remember the Madonna musical.
Well...
Sorry.
That wasn't that good. Oh. All right. Well...
on that note...
Oh, what do we have? Oh, okay. Well, on that note, like you said, normally this is the part where we go into the time machine, we would time warp it up, and then you would talk about your design challenge, but we already had a design challenge.
That's right.
Which you discussed.
That's right.
So I think that you should fire up the time warp,
okay.
and we just go back to that first episode. And let's talk about that photo challenge, because we've lost photo challenges. We don't have those anymore.
Have we really?
They're really
rare. The modeling challenge, right?
They're really rare.
Wow, that's crazy to me because so much of what I do in my real day-to-day life is a lot of taking photos, you know? So I would think that would be a challenge that would really stay there because that's what a lot of drag queens do, especially as influencers in the world. For me, that day one, I was on such a natural high. I'd had 4 Red Bulls and so many cigarettes, and like I was just so excited to finally be out of my room and be there with everyone. And yeah, I just remember walking in, and like at that point, you know, it wasn't established to me that I was annoying and people were laughing at all my antics. So like I thought RuPaul was living for me, you know. I didn't realize they were really laughing at me and not with me. So I had a great time. It's definitely one of my best memories, you know, being able to jump off that platform and launch into RuPaul's hip pads, is what they called them, was so fun and so natural for me. You know, I love being in front of a photographer's camera. I like the other camera too, with TV and film, but I am so much more comfortable because I'm a dancer, not talking, not speaking, and just posing. That's really what I live for, using my body as language. So yeah, I'm so proud of that shot. You know, I hit a perfect passe, turned out front foot. I gave you arms, the feathers were flying. I mean, I would love to have seen my other shots in that challenge, because I really think there was probably a lot of other good ones. But the one that they ended up choosing, I think, is super iconic. And I see the GIF all the time of the kids using it. And, you know, I think that that's like a sure way to know, like, okay, I made a stamp even on that first episode.
Yeah. And I think, too, like, looking back on it, those were the moments that I absolutely loved the most, was the photo challenges.
Yeah, Mike Ruiz. Remember, he was a part of it so much.
Yes. And when those things happen, did you know beforehand that you would be having a photo challenge, or was it like you just walked into a room? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so I'm pretty sure they would brief us. Like, they would first we walked into the room, we met each other, then we got the room message. The room message gave us an idea of what was coming up.
Wait, when a room message comes up, is it what we see on TV?
It is. It actually is, and it really does interrupt the girls. You notice how like they're talking and it always seems to interrupt. That is actually real. That's exactly what happens. You know, producers are waiting to get enough story out of everyone in the beginning, and then once they've gotten enough story, they send the message, right? Yeah. So that is real, and we do see the video just like you end up seeing in the audience. And so I believe, if I'm correct, that's when Rue then walked down the stairs and told us that we would be doing a photo challenge. So we had an idea. I don't believe we knew we would be launching off a platform and jumping. I just think we knew it was photo related, because they want to see those reactions. So from what I remember, we didn't know exactly what was happening. And it wasn't until I walked in the room and saw the ladder going up to the giant platform that I was like, oh, we're about to like, you know, do this. And I believe at that point, I actually took my shoes off and put on ballet flats, because I wanted to be able to like point my feet and not just have like this chunky, because at that time I had on a ostrich yellow feather high heel. And so I felt like, you know, I wanted to give line and length. And so I put on a flat, but I'm not, again, it's kind of hard to remember exactly. I'm sure if we pulled up the picture, we could see, but I'm pretty sure I switched to flats because I wanted to, like I said, be able to jump and give those, you know, dancerly lines.
Did you keep anything? Like, did you ever get pictures blown up? Do you ever like have those things anywhere? Did you? No,
I keep my fan art. I have tons of that I love, or my butt art, I should say. Definitely keep all of that. But no, I don't really have anything from season 6 that I like got printed out and framed. I mean, I definitely made I Feel Very Attacked merch. I made little enamel pins. So I have certain things that tie back to the show, but nothing that I was like, oh, that's so gorgeous, I want to blow it up. No, I have current photos of myself in my house. Hello.
Do you?
I do. You know, my best friend Robert Heyman just did this incredible gallery at the Artistry. Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's about to be taken down. And so I am going to take a couple of the pieces and put them in the house. Although we were discussing which pieces, and I was like, I'm not going to take the pieces where it's just me, because like that feels much. The only picture I have of myself in my house right now is me standing on top of a slave. So like I like to have paintings or pictures in my house that, you know, are references to me, but it's not just like my face in my living room. So the newest painting that I'm going to take from the gallery is of me and my dear friend Laura. We're both naked, and she's basically over me, like milking me, and I'm like up looking towards her titty. So, you know, I think it's black and white. I think it'll look beautiful in my house. And again, it's not just me. It's like of me and a friend. And I feel like those work better. I don't want to be like Jack, if you remember from Will and Grace. Like when you would go into his apartment, it was like a giant headshot of him above his...
Like Trixie Mattel.
In her motel. Does she have that in her real house?
I think she said she did.
Okay, interesting. Well, I know she did it in her motel, which I was like, well, that makes sense because your fans are coming there. But Yeah, I don't want you to walk into my house and it's just pictures of me everywhere. Like, I think eventually when I have a mansion, maybe one day I would have like a gallery space where I might have that.
That's smart.
But yeah, like, I don't know. It just seems a little much. And you know, drag queens, we love ourselves a lot, but that's like taking it to another level.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. The only image that I really have is, did David Puck ever do you? The painter? Yeah, I have that image of that he did of me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how he does it. Like,
he's amazing.
It looks so great, and I was like, give me mine, and I have it behind me.
That's so
canvas.
cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, we're out of the time warp.
Love it.
We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna get back with all of the hoo-has and hitty-has.
And we are back with Queening Out. I'm your girl, Miss Laganja Estranja, here with Joseph Shepard, spilling all the piping hot tea, honey, for RuPaul's Drag Race season. What are we on?
All-Star 7.
Oh my God.
Wow.
RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 7.
So I was looking for piping hot tea. I really couldn't find anything
What?
for this episode.
You're like the Nancy Drew of drag.
I know. I guess this episode was just very low key
Okay.
and that there wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring up a conversation just because, you know, we're getting a little political, and there was a humongous thing that happened here in the United States. The Supreme Court, in a ruling of 6-3, ended up basically giving all of the rights of abortion back to the states. So states can now choose if not, you can get an abortion. And you can get charged for it. You can go to jail for it. Some states don't even consider rape or being molested or anything like that as being a portion of being able to get an abortion. So you would have to actually go through with that. And if you didn't, then you could get arrested for that. And I think it was a humongous depression central of going back to what in the world is happening in our country today. Because you look at statistics, you look at how the whole United States is basically saying, and I'm pretty sure, and I think it was like 82%, if I'm correct, that are okay with it, 82%, and the other 18, 19, 20%, whatever, is the ones that are not okay for it. So my head always goes to this place of, why do 9 people get to choose our destinies? These 9 people that we didn't even get to vote for. We didn't even get to try. We didn't even get to be like, you know what? I really want Clarence Thomas to be on the Supreme Court. No, I don't want Clarence Thomas to be on the Supreme Court, but somebody else chose him for us. Yeah. And that to me is just incorrect in so many ways, that these things happen. And then on top of that, Clarence Thomas and his they all have to like write their dissents, and you know, they're writing out all this stuff, and then he basically said that he believes that they should look into the cases that were gay marriage and contraceptives and stuff, and it's like we should revisit those. And it's like, these cases were already determined. Why are we taking away more people's freedom? And I know it's frustrating for people, and I know it's angry, and I know that the politicians keep saying vote, and yes, it's so annoying that we are voting for these politicians, and we view it as they're not doing the things that we believe that they should be doing. But to be truthful, the government is a humongous checks and balance systems of so many different ifs, ands, or buts, and laws and everything, that we can't do a lot of things. And I think that becomes the most depressive part.
Yeah, I think the whole thing in general is just shocking. I remember when the news was leaked, and I was just like, oh, that'll never pass. And I just think like, wow, how naive of me to really have believed that. Mm-hmm. And it just is insane that, you know, 6 people can decide the future for all of America. I think that is such a horrible system that really needs to be revisited, obviously. And yeah, I'm very scared for gay rights, trans rights. I absolutely think we're on the chopping block. And, you know, I just think that it is so insane that men, predominantly men, there was only one woman, decided something for a woman's body. I just don't understand that. And of course, not just women, we have gender nonconforming and, you know, trans people who have uteruses. So, you know, I don't want to neglect them as well. But anyone with a uterus that someone can decide what they do with that uterus is just, It's beyond me, and it's so backward, and I've really tried to be as vocal as I can about it on my platform and encourage people to vote because, just posting something on your story and spreading the message isn't enough. The only way we're really going to change this is if we vote and if we get out there and if we're vocal. So, it's really devastating, and I just can't even believe we're taking 50 years of stepping back to where we once were. I saw this clip of a 90-year-old woman saying this was the saddest day of her life and that she never thought she would see something like this. And I just can't even believe it. I really still can't. And coming off that Madonna gig and already having a little depression and then reading that news, it was just like, gosh, what am I working so hard for? This world is fucked. We're so screwed, So it's definitely devastating, but I still have hope. I think that there's a lot of really intellectual, hardworking politicians out there that are going to fight this, and that hopefully, will make it so that most states can't go backwards.
Yeah, and I went into a full research mode of how and if we could get, this back, how do we, erase that moment. And I believe that the biggest things that I was reading or that I was taking away is that hopefully, the president and the people around can end up making the federal grounds on all of the states. Hey, there's a federal ground at, the U.S. Post Office. Maybe there's a clinic that's on their federal ground because the states don't own that ground.
Interesting.
So I saw that. I also saw that there is a group or a church in Florida that a Jewish, I guess you call it a synagogue, sorry, my apologies, a Jewish synagogue in Florida that they believe that, I believe that they have an 18 or 20 week rule or something like that with abortions, and that they believe that abortion should be doable, and they are wanting to sue for religious freedom.
Interesting.
And so the way that I look at it is if all of these religions that are not under that ideology end up suing, then these cases are eventually going to have to go back to the Supreme Court. So I just think everybody should be extremely sue happy. I think that you should be looking into religions. I don't care. Let's make up a fucking fake religion and let's go for it. It's not right. It's not okay. Do your research, and yes.
Yes, agreed. I do not believe, one person's or however many, person's religion should dictate that for others. The whole point of America is we're supposed to be the land of the free, meaning you can have your religion, I can have mine, we can believe in what we want to believe in, but those do not dictate how each other should live their life.
Exactly. Well, on that note, guys, we are going to take a quick break and we'll get back into this episode in our lovely faces.
Oops, I gotta turn that off, sorry.
Let's see, I think we just have that and we're done. Yeah, cool. Ready to throw my cool. Well, we are back. It's Queening Out. I'm Joseph Shepard. That's
I don't know. What is that?
Laganja Estranja.
Oh,
you didn't know your name.
I was like, what? That's a what? That's a time warp? And I'm Laganja Estranja.
We saw all the legendary looks come out that were of RuPaul. We had our top two, Jada Essence Hall and Trinity the Tuck Taylor. Do you agree?
I do.
100%.
I agree 100%.
Same.
Yeah.
The lip sync song was I Want Love by Jessie J. Trinity ended up pulling it out.
Trinity literally slid into her baham.
Yes!
And ate it.
I was like...
That was iconic.
Iconic.
That was iconic. She tossed the salad live on stage.
She did. I was wondering in that moment too. I always think about when one person goes into the other person's lip sync, what I would do in that moment. If I thought I was killing it and then somebody came, Trinity came and just put her face in my ass, I would be like, wait, what am I going to do now? You just fucked you fucked with my head.
You bend over and take it like the man that you are, honey. What do you mean? Don't act like that's your first time.
Not my first time at the rodeo.
Or your last.
Or my last. So Trinity wins. She wins her 10 grand and she blocks Evie Oddly.
Yeah, it was a smart choice in my opinion.
Choice.
I think it was. Evie came up real quick, so it was like, hold on, mama. I think it was smart. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And then we get into our stars. I'm going to read these off. We have Jinx with 2, Shay with 1, Monet with 1, Trinity with 2, Jada has 3 stars.
Ooh, I would have blocked her then. We need to block her.
But we couldn't because she was in the top.
Oh, because she won?
Yeah.
So you can't block one of the winners?
You can't block one of the winners.
These rules.
These rules.
They're smart.
Vivian has 1, Raja 1, and Evie with 2. Ooh, and we have 5 episodes left.
Wow. It's getting close, gal.
It's getting close.
Yeah.
Have you been enjoying the season?
I really have. I think this has definitely been a legendary legend season. Mm-hmm. I really do. We've been, there hasn't been a lot of drama, which let's all be honest out there. We love the drama of it all. So maybe that has been a little missing, but I just think that the level of performance has been spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
I agree. I think it's like, I feel like I'm watching a different television show, I guess you would say. It doesn't feel as RuPaul's Drag Race as the current season. It feels very RuPaul's Drag Race as like seasons like 1 through 8.
Yeah,
like
totally.
Older, like
yeah. Well, I think because they brought back some of the OGs too,
yes.
we're getting that vibe more.
Yeah, love it. Well, guys, that was our episode.
We did it. Another episode of Queening Out. Okay, we did it.
We did it. So be sure if you're watching this video episode to leave your favorite part down below, comment down below, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and then go head over to the podcast version and go rate us, review us, like, subscribe, do all of those goodies. And we are now going to be on the same page, right? We're going to be like uploading at the same time.
I believe so, yes. And I just remembered, I know you said there wasn't much, but what did we miss in Untucked?
What we missed in Untucked was the girls. So in Untucked basically came down to all the girls were sitting down in their couches and they all started going around how many stars they had and if they've been blocked or not. And Trinity was actually thinking about blocking Jinx. But once Evie Oddly said, I have 2 stars and no blocks, Trinity was like,
it's only fair.
Yeah.
So you need a block, mama.
You need a block, mama. That was basically it. Betsy Johnson came in.
Love her. Iconic
her.
splits on the runway.
She talked about getting into drag back in like the early days and how she started becoming part of the gay culture. And that was about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a good heartwarming with a light shade drama.
Yeah. I really wish, though, that they would, like, bring in that pink fuzzy box or something.
Yeah.
Like, I want some little stir it up.
Gosh, Joseph's ready to be a producer on the show and make shit happen. I love it.
Well, Laganja, that will never happen.
Because?
Okay. Little known fact, I've tweeted this out.
Uh-oh.
So when I was at DragCon,
Uh-huh.
I feel comfortable now saying this. When I was at DragCon, for the past probably like 5 years, I've gotten a lot of, I wouldn't say retaliation, but I would say a lot of pushback from World of Wonder and VH1 and RuPaul's Drag Race. I never knew why. I could not understand. I could not fathom. I would have like, they would go back and forth with me and then I would be like left completely like in the gutter of not knowing what's going on about like interviewing queens or going through with things. I would have people recommend me for TV shows with them or like there's things and they would never respond. And at DragCon, somebody from World of Wonder came up to my booth and said, I would like to apologize to you. We had a Joseph Shepard who worked here 5+ years ago who stole a television show idea that we had and went and produced it. And we thought that you were this Joseph Shepard.
Oh my God.
And they're like, so every time we saw your name, we associated it with the previous Joseph Shepard. And in that moment, I think that, I cried. I was like, not then, but I cried afterwards because it was like, I had been feeling for the longest time that I have been on the precipice of like doing well for myself, but I haven't been able to get quite there.
Sure.
And I never understood the reasoning behind where they were coming from. And now that I knew, it was like...
Had nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with me.
Right. Although now you've partnered with me, so good luck.
Well, Well, guys, that was Queening Out. I am Joseph Shepard. We have new episodes every Tuesday.
That's right, every Tuesday, and you can catch the podcast online at your favorite podcast store, or you can catch it on either one of our YouTubes.
Exactly. And, if you have some dying questions, you want to call us up, feel free to, hit us up at 323-607-5116.
Or you can email us at laganjos@gmail.com. That's LAGANJ. I can't spell. How do you spell it? That's
That's LAGANJOES.
Okay, yeah, that one.
At gmail.com.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Laganja Estranja, except on TikTok, where I am the only Laganja Estranja.
And you can find me everywhere at Joseph A. Shepard. I don't have the only Joseph A. Shepard.
Well, you're the only Joseph A. Shepard to me, and I would never get you confused with someone who screwed me over.
Yes, exactly. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Until next time, we are gonna go. What are we gonna do?
I'm gonna go to bed. I'm exhausted.
I'm gonna get Popeye's fried chicken. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan too.
Sounds like a good plan. Bye, guys.
Bye.